Have you noticed something weird?
Of him, and here he is just walking the streets. The artist, whose real name is Montero Lamar Hill, he was arrested yesterday morning after he was seen in a video first obtained by TMZ.
Nah, not that bullshit. Whenever Hollywood wants to promote black representation, they conveniently pick someone half black. Like, why does every black love story star someone who looks like Zendaya? Why does every revolutionary activist role go to someone racially ambiguous? Now, don't get me wrong, I got love for mixed brothers and sisters, but let's be real. Hollywood has a type, and it ain't fully black. This isn't just about casting, it's about how race is used for marketing, social engineering, and maintaining the illusion of diversity. Today we break down the Swirl Dilemma, how biracial representation is affecting society, how corporations use race to sell an image, and how full black people are being pushed aside. So, what exactly is the Swirl Dilemma? It's the idea that while black people fight for representation, Hollywood, corporations, and the media strategically push biracial or racially ambiguous people as the acceptable black face. Why? Because it allows them to claim diversity without actually uplifting fully black people. It's why you rarely see dark-skinned black women as love entrants. I mean that shit literally. It's why major black historical figures get cast with someone 2 shades away from white. And it's why marketing companies will use a biracial model with loose curls instead of someone with 4C hair. It's not just about preference, it's by design. Let's talk about swirling, the corporate approved remix of Love and Genetics. You ever notice how every commercial looks like a biracial utopia now? You think racism ended and everybody's dating a light-skinned model with loose curls in a Starbucks order. But beneath that caramel color aesthetic is a deeper issue. And it's not just about love, it's about strategy. It seems like there's an aesthetic war going on. Black beauty used to be defined by richness, dark skin, thick hair, bold features. But now, Hollywood loves a safe black, light enough to market, black enough to be edgy. They want melanin, but only 50%. That ain't diversity, that's delusion. It's not just preference, it's programming. The erasure of the full spectrum black identity is real, and it's wrapped in a bowl called representation. Hollywood loves blackness, but only in aesthetic doses. They don't want too much melanin on screen because, let's be honest, that makes certain audiences uncomfortable. Just look at Nina Simone's biopic, played by Zoe Saldana in blackface, even though Nina was a dark-skinned woman. They literally darkened her skin and gave her a prosthetic nose. People were outraged because there are countless dark-skinned actresses who could have portrayed Nina identically. This shows Hollywood's obsession with palatable blackness. Zendaya has openly said she benefited from being a lighter-skinned black girl. She lands roles that many dark-skinned actresses never even get called in for. Even in shows like Euphoria or films like Malcolm and Marie, her blackness is treated as flexible, interchangeable, which isn't the cast for darker-skinned women. Amanda Steinberg in The Hate U Give is a perfect example. The book describes Star as a dark-skinned girl, but the movie casts Amanda who is biracial. This changes the whole impact of the story, because colorism and police brutality hit different when you're visibly darker skinned. But Hollywood watered down the role, making it marketable but less authentic. Halle Berry playing as Dorothy Dandridge is another example. Halle Berry, who is biracial, portrayed Dorothy Dandridge, who was a little darker pioneer in Hollywood. Once again, instead of honoring the reality, they picked a lighter skinned actress to soften the story for audiences. Ever since, there's been a pattern. Yara Shahidi, often presented as the face of young black women, even though darker black actresses are sidelined. Tessa Thompson repeatedly slotted into roles coded as black despite being biracial. Rashida Jones, same thing, but when she does appear in black spaces, like music events, black family movies, she's marketed as representation. They're often cast as the face of black women in media, while dark-skinned actresses are overlooked or pushed into ghetto stereotypes. Danny Newton has admitted herself that she has been typecast into black women's roles that might not have been offered to darker actresses. Zoe Kravitz has always been marketed as edgy, black girl cool while maintaining white Hollywood beauty standards. Tracee Ellis Ross, frequently positioned as the face of black womanhood in media, even though she's biracial. Jurnee Smollett, Hollywood repeatedly pushes her into historical or racial trauma roles to embody black pain, but she's still in a lighter, ambiguous category. Hence, look at Halle Bailey. She was cast as the Little Mermaid, is lighter and more racially ambiguous. Hollywood pushed her as the new black Disney princess. Maya Rudolph plays comedic roles but is often positioned as a black comedian for diversity counts. It's been a never-ending pattern that haven't been fixed. Meagan Good often takes roles of black women in mainstream media. Kerry Washington, due to her light skin. Gugu Mbatha Raw was taking roles, as well for Logan Browning on Dear White People, marketing as a voice for black struggles. To Michael Ealy, to Quincy Brown, to Boris Kodjoe. Shit, even The Rock. Historical films like Harriet Tubman's role was almost given to Julia Roberts instead of an African American woman. Hollywood isn't about diversity, it's about marketing diversity. They want just enough blackness to look progressive, but not enough to shake the system. At this rate, the next MLK movie is going to star Drake, talking about I had a dream, still, re-rise. You feel me? The bigger pattern is light skin equal mainstream black. Darker skinned actors are usually cast as side characters, villains, slaves, or comic relief. Meanwhile, lighter biracial actors are positioned as the heroes, love interests, or leaders. Marketing strategy is not random. Corporations and Hollywood execs deliberately push mixed biracial actors as the face of blackness because it feels safer for global audiences. Hollywood uses biracial actors as safe blackness. They're black enough to claim representation, but white enough to be comfortable for mainstream audiences. It's ignorance wrapped in inclusion. Dark-skinned black women are a race. Audiences are tricked into thinking representation have been achieved, and biracials often get elevated as the default black image, shifting beauty standards away from actual black futures. Hollywood be like, we need a black woman for this role. Cast someone who looks like she shops at Whole Foods and only finds out about racism on Twitter. Or authentic representation, but only if it's light skin with curly hair for the hair care ads. Say what you want, but you know I'm right. Every ad, a swirl couple holding hands with a golden retriever in a gentrified neighborhood. Meanwhile, they won't support a bill that stops black kids from getting suspended for having dreadlocks. The irony. It's not just Hollywood. Corporate America loved the swirl game. Companies exploit the ambiguous look for profit. Don't believe me? The proof is in front of your face. There's safe diversity in ads. Companies push mixed race families to please white consumers while still looking progressive. Think about black owned businesses being overlooked. Funding goes to mixed race entrepreneurs over fully black business owners. There's even some media tokenism going on. Brands like to check the black box without actually uplifting the full spectrum of black identity. Ever notice how every diverse ad features a light-skinned woman with curly hair? They're not stupid. They know what they're doing. Representation without repair is just manipulation. They don't love us. They love our image. But corporations confuse black people on purpose. Big brands intentionally blur the line between black and mixed to push a more palatable version of diversity, while avoiding the actual responsibility of supporting black issues. This isn't a hate towards them, but I'm gonna give you examples. They use racially ambiguous models to appear inclusive without being too political. They promote mixed families in ads to neutralize race, not honor it. They push narratives that we're all one while ignoring anti-black systems, like Target's, H&M, and Nike ads with swirl couples or mixed race families, with little investment in black communities. Shit, marketing studies show that brands believe racially ambiguous images are safer and more globally appealing. They sell unity, but only if it's beige. They use blackness for style, but only when whiteness is there to soften the edge. In all honesty, this leads to confusion. Black kids grow up thinking they're ugly because they don't look like the black people they see on screen. And mixed kids grow up being pressured to choose a side. At the end of the day, everybody loses when the image is manipulated, except the corporations. Listen, being black is not a trend. It's not a costume. It's not something you remix for clout. And it's not something you dilute for approval. Mix isn't the enemy, but the agenda using them as the face of blackness. Without acknowledging full black people, that's the real issue. Because if they can replace the image, they can erase the reality. Colorism is always a touchy topic. We used to fight for acceptance. Now we fight each other over skin tone. Red bone this, yellow bone that. What happened to just being black and proud? Some of y'all got kids hoping they come out with good hair like it's a genetic lottery scratch card. I mean, studies show on how media exposure affects internalized colorism and self-esteem among black youth. Reasons why we're mentally fucked up. Here's where it gets deeper. This isn't just about movies and commercials. This affects how we see ourselves. Colorism and self-image issues been going on for a while now. Dark-skinned black kids grow up feeling unattractive and invisible. Dating preferences get screwed. The exotic look is fetishized, while dark-skinned black people are often seen as less desirable. But it seems biracial people get stuck in the middle. Many feel pressure to pick a side instead of embracing both identities. It's crazy. We push for black representation, and when we finally get it, they remix it into something more marketable. Dark-skinned artists like Coco Jones, Normani, Ari Lennox, and Tim's often gets overlooked despite their talent, while light-skinned counterparts like Rihanna, Doja Cat, Sweetie, Tyler, Her, and Lotto are pushed harder by the industry as more marketable. Beyonce herself had bleached her skin just to be more lighter. Skin lightening products are just a balloon dollar business worldwide. That alone shows how deep the system goes. Brands subtly push lighter skinned black or mixed models to the forefront of campaigns meant to represent diversity. It's diversity, but only through a lighter lens. The old house slave versus field slave divide never disappeared. It just repackaged. Now it's about who gets visibility, opportunities, and roles in society. Colorism reinvented is just racism with a makeover. Instead of change, it's contracts. Instead of whips, it's casting calls. Instead of openly saying you're too dark, the system says we want diversity, but we need someone universal. The irony? Black beauty only gets celebrated when watered down. Hollywood corporations and the media profit off the look of blackness without ever respecting the people. Colorism reinvented isn't about who's prettier or talented. It's about who the system chooses to validate and who it quietly erases. So I ask myself, are mixed people unintentionally being used to replace full black identity? Well, it seems like it. They don't say black women are too loud, they just don't cast them anymore. They hired a biracial girl, then claim they supported diversity. If they can profit off our struggle without dealing with our pain, that's not progress. That's erasure with better lighting. Hollywood corporations and even social media trends are shifting the image of blackness into something lighter. More bigwish, more palatable for mainstream audiences. Instead of showing the full range of authentic black beauty and experience, they often push biracial or multiracial faces as a default representative of blackness. This creates a dangerous replacement effect. The world begins to see black only through a diluted lens. When this happens repeatedly, people start associating blackness not with its roots, but with a curated, softened image that fits closer to Eurocentric standards. And the irony? Many mixed people don't even realize they're being used as stand-ins, as tools in a system that doesn't want to embrace true, full black identity. And it's not about blaming them, it's about exposing how institutions strategically use them to reshape what blackness looks like in the public eye. The quiet message underneath it all: we want black culture, but not too black. We'll take the flavor, but we'll water it down first. Tyler is a perfect example. Tyler, the South African singer who blew up with Water, found herself in a storm of controversy. Once her identity became a conversation point in America.
Me on these debates that they be having about your identity as a South African colored person. What does that even mean?
Can we not? Por favor.
Oh, I like that. We keeping that in the interview too. I like when they talk from the back and say we can't. I like that.
When asked about her racial identity and struggles tied to it, Tyler dodged the question and let her team intervene. She later explained she didn't want to be trapped into saying something political, but that silence was read differently in the US context. Black Americans felt she was either ashamed to embrace being black or too detached from the real struggles Black Americans face daily. In South Africa, Tyler identifies with mixed race category called color, which is not the same as the offensive American slur. It's recognized ethnic group. But in America, saying I'm not Black American saw it as distance from blackness while still profiting from it. Black fans accuse her of only coming to America audience to monetize the Black American audience. While refusing to stand in solidarity with their struggles, her EP sales dropped compared to her viral single. Many fans admitted they stopped streaming her music after feeling used. Social media comments turned harsh. She wants our culture, not our pain. She dodges blackness but uses black platforms to go global. Say what you want, but Tyler has some privilege of ambiguity leverage. Tyler benefits from being light-skinned and ethnically ambiguous. That exotic look is easier to market globally than a darker-skinned black artist with the same talent. It's always been industry preference. Record labels push her aggressively because she fits the global pop image. Light enough to be universal, black enough to seem authentic, but not carrying the weight of Black American struggles. This is where it ties back. Instead of promoting darker skin, African artists or Black American singers struggling to get radio play, the industry chooses a lighter skinned, biracial looking face to represent African black culture on the world stage. Say what you want, but Tyler becomes a safe black marketable without the baggage. Tyler's situation reveals the quiet mechanics of colorism. Fans expected her to validate their struggle. Instead, she exposed the gap between being black in South Africa versus being black in America. Her rise represents a shift, where global industries elevate artists who are adjacent to blackness but not fully tied to it. The truth is, Black Americans feel erased when someone who doesn't share their history of slavery, Jim Crow, redlining, or Semitic racism becomes the face of their culture. Shit, this isn't just about Tyler. It's about how industries use biracial mixed identities as a bridge product to dilute and replace full black identity in the mainstream. When Tyler dodged that question, it wasn't just awkward, it exposed the divide. To her, identity is different in South Africa. But in America, when you dodge blackness while eating off black culture, it feels like a replacement. It feels like colorism on display. Lighter, safer, marketable, but detached from the struggle. The industry does it with musicians as well. Doja Cat is another major figure in the Swirl Dilemma because her career constantly sparks debates about authenticity and proximity to blackness. She's mixed, half black, half Jewish, and the way the industry pushes her often feels like she's being used as a palatable version of black artistry. She's had controversies where her relationship with blackness was questioned. From her old chat room incidents to distancing herself from black fan bases while still heavily profiting off hip-hop, rap, and R&B culture. Yet at the same time, she can lean into black aesthetics, whether it's through her music, visuals, or collaborations, when it benefits her brand. Doja Cat represents a recurring pattern in the entertainment industry. Someone who can dip in and out of black culture while never fully facing the struggles that dark-skinned, full black artists often have to endure. Look at Drake's issue. He's marketed as the global face of hip-hop, even though his style leans pop and ambiguous, rather than traditionally black American. Benefiting from proximity to black culture, but his Canadian biracial identity makes him more marketable internationally. Critics argue his dominance sidelines darker skinned, full black rappers who paved the way, which explains the hate towards him. Sweetie marketed heavily on her mixed race looks, often seen as pretty privilege in the rap, represents how the industry elevates biracial women as poster girls while sidelining darker skinned women with equal or more talent. Her's image was crafted in a way that seemed more universal, less threatening than darker skinned R&B women, echoing old industry patterns. Aliyah is a British and biracial singer and pushed as the new R&B princess. Many notice how the industry put her at the forefront while more authentic black R&B singers, with less ambiguous features struggle for visibility. Lotto and Ice Spice got the same treatment. Ice Spice's light skin, curls, and racially ambiguous look contribute to her appeal to both mainstream and hip-hop spaces. Meanwhile, many darker-skinned New York female rappers never received the same push or coverage. This isn't about attacking biracial entertainers themselves, it's about how systems of colorism and markability weaponize them. They're not just artists, they're symbols. Each time the industry elevates a lighter skin or mixed entertainer as the face of black culture, it reinforces the message that blackness itself needs dilution to be accepted. The replacement effect creates a dangerous illusion. The world thinks it's celebrating black culture, but in reality, it's consuming a watered-down version, where full black identity is erased from the spotlight. They love the culture, but not the roots. Mixed race people and fully black people have different experiences, identities, privileges, and struggles. But society, especially corporations and media, blur the line on purpose. Mixed is not a flavor of black, it's a separate category. It doesn't mean you're not black at all, but it means your proximity to whiteness, through genetics, aesthetics, and often class, gives you access and visibility that full black people rarely get. That's not hate, that's math. Facts are facts. Mixed actors and influencers are overrepresented in black roles and media. Studies show people with Eurocentric features, lighter skin, looser hair are perceived as more attractive or more intelligent. Full black features, dark skin, wide noses, coarse hair are still stereotyped or erased. Society treats mixed people like the diet version of black. Same flavor, fewer consequences. Why black people embrace mixed people more than themselves? The truth is generational trauma plus media programming plus white supremacy have trained many black people to idolize anything closer to whiteness, even within their own community. It's literally a psychological reason for this. Slavery didn't just take our names, it took our self-worth. Over time, we learned to measure beauty and value by how far we could escape our own features. Like pretty for a dark-skinned girl is still said today. Celebrities like Zendaya, Sweetie, Jean Aiko, Doja Cat, all mixed, are praised for black excellence, while darker, full black artists fight to be seen as mainstream. In dating apps and surveys, lighter skin is consistently preferred. We were conditioned to see softness and light skin and danger in our reflections. That's why so many of us crave the image of blackness that's been filtered through whiteness. This isn't about hating on mixed people. It's about questioning why whiteness has to be the ingredient that makes blackness acceptable. Because if you don't question the casting, the branding, the marketing, one day, black won't mean black anymore. It'll just mean not too much. But here's the thing, this is just the first layer. In part 2, we dive into the weaponization of image, the agenda behind media trends, and how biracial identity is being politicized without their consent. We're going deeper. How do we fix this? You ask? By supporting fully black creators in films. Hollywood won't change until the money shifts. Call out the fake diversity. Stop letting corporations exploit representation for profit, and just celebrate all shades of blackness. True diversity includes the full black spectrum. At the end of the day, biracial people aren't the problem, but the system that uses them to erase full black identity is. If you made it this far, you're a real one. Let's talk. Do you think Hollywood's diversity is real, or just a marketing strategy? Drop a comment down below. And like always, don't fear me, hear me. R-X and Rebel Mouth out.